This is Metropol TV, and you're right in time for the week's edition of The Big 10, your weekly in-depth review of the week's top stories in Kenya and around the world. My name is Nina Shaban. Let the countdown begin. Now, Britain is headed towards a third Brexit delay. Britain's exit from the European Union has been a long-running with his many twists and turns. Now, the latest twist to the Brexit maze has been the British Parliament's rejection of the new Brexit deal that was reached last week with the EU. The vote paid to the United Kingdom's Prime Minister Boris Johnson's commitment to have Britain leave the EU by the 31st of October, forcing him to ask the economic bloc for another extension after failing to pass his Brexit deal in Parliament last Saturday. Boris also seems determined to now seek for an election on the 12th of December that could help Britain find a way out of the European Union. But the UK Prime Minister will once again have to wait for the EU's decision in how long the extension will be, just as his predecessor Theresa May did in March, which led to the October extension.
Is that we've got a way forward for this country and for the EU. Now, we've got a great deal on Brexit. As you know, for the first time in 3.5 years, Parliament voted to endorse a way out of the EU, the deal I was able to do with our friends and partners. But unfortunately, they also voted to delay the final approval of that deal that they've endorsed. And what that means, I'm afraid, is if this Parliament is anything to go by, that delay could go on for a very long time. Because I'm afraid it looks as though our EU friends are going to respond to Parliament's request by having an extension, which I really don't want.
Still on the global front, after numerous rounds of talks and a significant escalation of tariffs, the year-long trade war between America and China has finally taken a turn for the better. The agreement reached by China and the US on a tentative Phase 1 deal has given the strongest hope of to date that a real breakthrough in the hostile trade dispute may be attainable in the coming weeks. Now, so between now and mid-November, the two sides will engage in further discussions to finalize the details of an agreement to be signed by China's President Xi Jinping and US President Donald Trump at the upcoming summit of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum. China has already passed a new law aimed at cutting red tape and levels of playing ground for foreign firms operating in the country. This is after a draft copy received a warm response from the United States. Under the new regulation, China sticks to market-oriented direction to create a stable, fair, transparent, and predictable business environment. China is expecting Washington to reciprocate by improving its treatment of Chinese business in the U.S. While no one can rule out the risk of a reversal, the chance of a genuine truce is arguably at its highest since the trade war started. Now, that's compared to the progress made at the previous G20 meetings, which led to subsequent setbacks. The current agreement, quote-unquote, feels more substantive and consensual.
But we've come to a deal on intellectual property, financial services, a tremendous deal for the farmers, a purchase of from $40 to $50 billion worth of agricultural products. To show you how big that is, that would be 2.5, 3 times what China had purchased at its highest point thus far. So they were purchasing 16 or 17 billion at the highest point, and that'll be brought up to 40 billion to 50 billion. So I'd suggest the farmers have to go and immediately buy more land and get bigger tractors. They'll be available at John Deere and a lot of other great distributors. But we're taking the purchase of agricultural products from 40 to 50 billion, meaning in that neighborhood from 40 to 50 approximately billion. And what they've been doing now, I believe, is about 8 billion, right? 8, right now it's 8. The other thing I will say is over the last
Let's dive into what's going on in the African continent. On Wednesday, President Putin officially opened the Russia-Africa Summit, and the two-day event was held in Sochi at the Black Sea resort, where more than 3,000 delegates from across Russia and Africa met to discuss an array of topics from the nuclear energy to mineral extraction. Now, according to Putin, the summit will see growth of joint projects in extraction industries. That's what, of course, we're talking about agriculture, healthcare, and education. Now, Russia, on the other hand, has been a major supplier of weapons and military equipment to African countries. Russia anticipates that the first Russia-Africa Summit is going to help boost its economic ties with the continent. The event saw all 54 African states send a representative to the summit, and out of the 54, 43 were heads of state. President Uhuru Kenyatta has held bilateral talks with his Russian counterpart that focus on trade and investment partnerships.
Chamber of Russia has set up a coordination commission for economic cooperation with African countries, and it has proved itself well. This mechanism helps Russian entrepreneurs and exploring the markets of Africa. It helps businesses and implementing joint investment projects. Many Russian companies are working with different branches of the African economy, and they are willing to further expand their presence in Africa, and we most certainly are going to support these plans at the government level. Gazprom, Rosneft, Lukoil are fulfilling promising oil and gas projects in Africa. Alrosa is exploring diamond deposits. Yandex is present in a number of African markets. It helps African countries address issues related to information security and the development of digital economy. Rosatom is willing to present our African partners the possibility of setting up a nuclear industry on a turnkey basis, as it were. The construction of research centers based on multi-purpose reactors. We are completing the establishment of the Russian industrial zone in Egypt. I refer to a big platform in the economic zone of the Suez Canal. Their companies from Russia will be able to localize their manufacturing capacities, and we'd like...
All right, so let's come closer to home, where a new report has shown that most employed Kenyans are not entirely happy with their current work situations, with most willing to switch jobs. Now, according to Brighton Monday, individuals aged between 18 and 35 years are most likely to take up other jobs. Let's take a look at the report's findings.
Report on the best 100 companies to work for in Kenya, talent recruitment agency Brighton Monday has released the findings of a survey which revealed that 47% of employees are likely to leave their current employers in the next 6 months, with 39% being happy with their current jobs. According to the survey, 26% of respondents aged between 18 and 24 years pose flight risk, while 30% are happy. In the 25 to 35 age bracket, 59% are willing to leave their employers, while 56% are happy. In the 36 to 45 age bracket, 12% are willing to leave, while 10% are happy. This is because of the current uncertainty in the job market, with companies cutting down employees and asking some to take pay cuts. Brighton Monday Chief Executive Officer Emmanuel Mutuma explains.
So in terms of the labor market this year, yes, we've faced a downward trend. We're seeing increasingly profit margins for various organizations thinning, which is causing them to make decisions on either downsizing to maintain the required growth gaps, or reassigning themselves in terms of people and resources, because people and employees constitute one of the largest costs for different organizations. So this is caused by various factors, really, for different organizations. But clearly, some of the economic conditions are based on the economy, circulation of money within the market, having a conducive environment. I think as Africa, we are very competitive. We're seeing some moves by Rwanda and Ethiopia, really forming some various policies that are attracting some of the investments, I think from an East Africa community point of view. So I think there are various factors, both internal and external, that are affecting what's really happening in terms of jobs in the market.
The report further shows that women are more flight risk at workplace, with 50% willing to leave their current employers, while 46% of men are willing to leave. This is attributed to fewer number of women in senior level, which stands at 7% compared to the male, that is 12%. In terms of salary, while 6% of men earn between 100,000 to 150,000 Kenyan shillings, only 4% of women do. Between 151,000 to 200,000 monthly salary, men account for 4%, while women only account for 2%.
Women are remain underrepresented in all levels, not just in leadership, in all levels. And I think it should be put in place, just as Annabelle was talking about, that the barrier is not at entry, but the barrier is within the organization. So look at what it is that within the organization is helping promote that equality. You know, whether it comes to having a creche or breastfeeding access, you know, things that are unique to women, so to speak, that would not apply to men, but would enable them to do their jobs better. So I think organizations should be looking to talk to women in all decision making from all levels. Just make them part of the decision making and part of the policy, and I think this...
When asked what makes a good company, a competitive pay package comes first, followed by job security, career growth, a financially stable company, and finally, welfare benefit is fifth. Wildcard trades on what makes a good company, so majority of votes go to talent at 40%, followed by a conducive work environment, staff support, teamwork, and performance incentives. From the report, the top 5 best performing companies to work for in 2019 were led by Safaricom, followed by East African Breweries Limited, the United Nations, Cooperative Bank of Kenya, and the Kenya Revenue Authority, closing the top 5. From Metropol.
The value of the Kenyan shilling once again came into the spotlight with a new report by ABSA Africa lowering the ranking of Kenya's financial markets due to the IMF's assessment of the country's exchange rate regime. According to the ABSA Africa Financial Index 2019, Kenya is now moving away from a free-floating exchange rate system. However, the central bank maintains that it does not operate a managed exchange regime. Let's take a look.
Has in the last 1 year come under sharp focus. First came the International Monetary Fund assertion in October last year that the Kenyan shilling is overvalued by up to 17.5%. The IMF further reclassified Kenya's exchange rate regime from a floating regime to other managed arrangements. The same observation was made by Amana Capital in a report which asserted that Kenya is operating a managed currency regime than a free-float currency, running a risk of making its exports more expensive. And now, the ABSA Africa Financial Market Index 2019 report has concurred with the IMF's assessment, saying Kenya is among African countries that are moving away from freer regimes, citing the IMF's assessment of the Kenyan currency.
It is worth noting that despite this, Kenya also performed well in aspects of capital controls. In fact, scoring amongst the highest in the top 5 was only second from all the countries in the index. So the lack of capital controls, the freedom of movement of capital, was one of Kenya's strong points. It's also worth appreciating that from an FX activity, interbank FX activity, although Kenya was amongst the highest in absolute volume of interbank activity relative to GDP, countries like Uganda and Mauritius performed quite well with 72% and 98% respectively as a percentage of their GDP.
But representatives from the Central Bank of Kenya were quick to deny that the shilling is overvalued.
For most developing countries, currently, if you look at their exchange rates, the real exchange rate, if you compute it, is actually, there has been some appreciation. And that is expected because For most of our countries, we are in transition. We are experiencing structural changes. We therefore expect that the exchange rate will appreciate because our productivity is higher. Let's be clear that our currency, our exchange rate is left as free as possible. It's floating, and the central bank only intervenes where if there is need to reduce volatility.
Another issue of concern is Kenya's low domestic capital as measured by the depth of its pension industry compared to funds in economies such as South Africa, Mauritius and Morocco. Kenya's pension assets currently stand at about 1.2 trillion Kenya shillings.
But when we think about pension funds, we see them as being a critical part of this process. As you said, they sit on a large pool of assets. And one of the things we've noticed, apart from just being aware of the instruments that are available for them, is actual capacity of the institutional investors to participate, particularly on their fixed income markets.
Overall, the report indicates that Kenya scored 65 percentage points overall, coming third after South Africa, which was first with 88 points, and Mauritius that came in second at 75 points. Kenya came second in the legality and enforceability of Standard Financial Markets Master Agreement with 96 percentage points. However, Kenya performed poorly in the capacity of local investors and its market depth. From Metropol TV, I'm Ondero Oganga.
All right, so 5 down, 5 more to go. So let's take a very quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the Big 10.